So you know already how languages change and how one language can give birth to new daughter languages. And you know that English, for example, belongs to the Indo-European family. And you can see all of the languages that belong to this family. They now sound very different, but that's because it took thousands of years for each group of people to develop their own variety. So right now, Polish, English, and Hindi don't sound very similar, but they do come from the same mother language. How do we know this? It was first observed in 1786, so in the 18th century, that related languages, there are some languages that have many similarities. And Sir William Jones, who observed that, said that the Sanskrit language is very different from Greek and Latin, but has very many similarities, both in words and in grammar, and even in phonology, that he thought couldn't be accidental. And really, if you look at some of the different words, you can see what he meant. So you have two examples here of words in Sanskrit, Latin, and ancient Greek. And the first one is pitar in Sanskrit, pater in Latin, and pater in ancient Greek. And you can see that they are similar. And in fact, there is an English word that is very similar to those. And I would like you to go to the discussion board and write which words do you think these are in English. And so in the same way, we can identify which family Arabic belongs to. We look at which other languages have similar words, grammar, and phonology. And this family is called Proto-Semitic. And you can see all the daughters of the Proto-Semitic language here on this graph. And you can see that Arabic is closely related to Aramaic and Hebrew, for example, and then also related to Amharic and other languages spoken in some regions of Africa. So right now they sound different, but they used to come from the same language. And you can see that in very many words. And you have some examples here. For example, the English word house. In Arabic, Hebrew, Amharic, and Tigrinya are very similar. Beit, beith, bet, and bet. And the same goes for other words on this list. So you can compare that and see that the words have changed slightly, but you can still see that they're very, very similar compared to the English words. Now, sometimes we find a language that doesn't seem to have any relatives. So we can't see similarities between this language and any other languages. We can't find the language's sisters, and we can't find the language's mother. So you could say that a language isolate is a language that has a family of only one member, or perhaps we don't know other languages. Maybe these languages no longer exist. One of the best known language isolates is Basque, spoken in the north of Spain by a small community. And such a language then, and even though it is spoken in Spain, it does not sound like Spanish at all. So we know that even though it's in the same country, it is not related. So you can tell now that languages change all the time. While there are 200 countries, around 200 countries in the world, there is around 7,000 languages. And these languages are constantly changing. Some of them are very small, have less than 100,000 speakers. Some of them are very big. So only 11 languages are spoken by over 70% of all people. And this situation is constantly changing. As people migrate from one area to another, languages change. As people interact with other language communities, their language changes. And that's how we get new languages, but also we lose old ones. Thank you.